So I want to talk about stage fright, and that's obviously a bit feckin' weird to be talking about, but loads of questions about if you're going to public speak, how do you prepare yourself to public speak and do yourself actual justice, not get up there and squirm and squeam and lose your words. So very frustratingly, practice makes perfect in this space. And there is no doubt the first time you're going to speak, you'll make a load of mistakes and you won't do yourself justice. But it's the knowing that that's a necessary step that you have to go through will actually get you through. So if you've had bad experiences, don't worry. That's all part of the process in becoming absolutely outstanding on stage. So don't get disheartened. Keep going. Perseverance and practice will absolutely make perfect. There's a couple of key little things that you can do to make it a bit easier on yourself. So I did a little video beforehand where I said I don't like using slides and I don't like using pre-rehearsed talks. That's a whole interesting space, but if you're starting off, it actually can be quite a handy crutch to use some pre-rehearsed or pre-prepared material. So don't shy away from that in your first instance. You can have slides that are good prompts. So literally having like a slide with your face and an introduction, obviously introducing yourself at the start of the speech is a really good start. Giving a bit of a context to why you're speaking is probably a good second part. Then giving a summary of what you're going to talk about is another good part. Breaking that summary down into stages as you talk, and then finishing with, again, a summary of everything that you've said. So knowing the approach of any talk is a good place. And carving that out in slides to prompt you and to direct you through your talk, that'll take a huge amount of pressure. Because again, if you don't have that, you might go up on stage, you might forget about little stages and tangle yourself up in a bit of a mess, kind of like this video at the moment. But anyway, that's a huge crutch. That's a huge help. The other thing is actually looking at the crowd. When you've got an opportunity to speak, you're there for a reason. And I think a lot of people get nervous and they think, oh God, am I gonna do this justice? Am I gonna do, the right job for everybody else? But actually telling yourself that before you go on stage, telling yourself that you're here for a reason, you've been invited to speak for a reason, and that's a credit to you. And actually acknowledging and appreciating yourself with all that before you go on stage is a really, really important hack over and above looking at the room and sweating it and going, God, that person's in the room and that person's in the room. What am I going to do? What am I going to say? That will do you no good and that will rip at your confidence. But instead actually going, that person's in the room. That person's taking time out of their schedule to look at me speak. That's amazing. And that other person is there. And if there's loads of people, holy shit, there's loads of people here to hear me out. And taking that in and actually taking the positivity and the encouragement that is actually giving you, but actually taking that in for yourself, that will build your confidence up at kind of a necessary level. The other thing is take your time. Don't be afraid to pause on stage. Don't be afraid to breathe on stage. Oftentimes people get nervous, they forget to breathe, and then they have a panic attack. But if you before you get up on stage, actually acknowledge that you're there, that everybody's there to see you and appreciate for where you're at, that's a good confidence builder. Walk up onto stage slowly, take a breather, don't stress, don't rush into it. That's huge. And as I said, if you're nervous, if it's your first time, having a couple of key slides to guide you through your talk so you keep to some sort of a structure, that will be really, really valuable. Those are three little crutches to lean on. But the most important thing is that knowing that you're not going to be great starting off. That's just an absolute given, and it's the same for public speaking as it is for sport. You don't walk out onto a pitch and suddenly become a professional footballer. You have to get knocked down a whole load. You have to make a load of mistakes. So actually messing up a little bit and not being that good is one of those stepping stones on the way to success. And so not being too hard on yourself if you do make mistakes, and instead learning from those mistakes will ultimately stand and accelerate you on your journey to getting on top of this space.